real quick, or not. Hello everyone. I'm actually well rested, feel pretty damn good. I want to give kind of a breakdown. I'll wait till a couple more people are in here before I go into the details of the challenge that occurred towards the end of the day yesterday, why it's a blessing, why it's a curse, where we are with it. I like where we're at. We were supposed to already have launched. Hello, Fred. We were supposed to yesterday, and then when I came in today, I thought, just quick retest, and some of the numbers are coming in off. Omar, you want to join me? Omar's going to join me. Let me grab him a mic.
What's up, guys?
Here you go, bro. So, yeah, I haven't been into Telegram in probably an hour, so I don't know anything that's been said in that window. But I have tried to do a little communication.
Check 1, 2.
Hey,
check.
Red Rebel. So, I want to give you guys kind of an update of telling you, don't say, hey, we just had lunch with you. I want to give you guys kind of an update. Here, scoot on in, man. Oh, you want to go get that up?
Adrian.
That's Adrian. Your mic's still on, bro. Just in case they get into some inappropriate discussion. So yesterday we were doing what you could consider a mock airdrop, final airdrop, and before we do the live one. If you're wondering, do we test airdrops? Yeah, we test airdrops. We test minting. We test everything. But that airdrop kind of revealed some things, and we were like, we better look into this. We better test a couple other things. And you go down kind of a rabbit hole. You're like, why is this behaving differently? And we haven't seen it we tested extensively. Mm-hmm. But what we ended up finding, and thank God, is what I will dub as phantom coins. Mm-hmm. And is that a good description? Yeah. A phantom coin is a coin that shows up in your wallet. It looks like it's there, and then for some uses it's usable, and then sometimes it's like fucking problematic. It starts acting buggy and this and that, and you're trying to figure out what the rhyme or reason, why is it behaving inconsistently?
I can see coin in my wallet.
You can see it.
I can't use it.
Yeah, you're like,
So we're thinking,
and then all of a sudden you can use it. What the frick is going on?
So we're thinking, okay, it's probably Lola, some of the whale code in there or something. No, it wasn't that. It's phantom coin.
So phantom coin, and so let me start from kind of the beginning on that. So we went back. What's up, Yana dude? So we went back and we're like, okay, what systems are affected by this? Where does it originate? Let's backtrack it. Let's see if we can find the source of the anti-gold, right? Hello, Kidson. So in finding the source, we basically said, okay, does it affect airdropping? Yes. Does it tie back to minting? Yes. Is it affecting reflection? Kind of no, but is it integrated to reflection? Yes. Is it even though it's not affecting the reflection numbers, the numbers are coming out right? Is it a reflection issue? Is it the source of the bane of our existence, where it's minting reflection and the transfer function and how it calculates the totals? And we're like, yeah, that's where it's at. Which is, let me tell you, if you're trying to fix something, that's the worst place for it to be, because it's literally the hardest thing to do. So last night we worked. Omar was there from 5 a.m. What's up, Adrian? Omar was there from 5 a.m. till we didn't leave till 11. Mm-hmm. So there's hey dude, solid 18-hour day, man. 18, just putting in the 18 hours ain't no thing.
That's it.
Most people only put at 8. You added a 10 to it. So
that's a minimum day.
That's a bit. So here's the thing. Last night we worked. till 11. The reason we left is because we had fixed it. We had fucking found it, fixed it. We hadn't verified everything to make sure our fix.
We'll just verify it in the morning.
Yeah. I'm sure everything else is going to work out okay. We fixed that issue. We found it. That was working. Okay. There's no more phantom tokens. We solved the problem of phantom tokens. Came in here expecting, all right, now we just got to verify that we didn't fuck anything else up, and we're good to go. And now we fucked up the reflection. So we have to figure. So that's what we've been working on all morning. Is like, okay, now the reflection is coming up.
We're onto it already.
We are. We're on a path to a fix, but we have to. When you're dealing with reflection, I'm going to tell you right now, if we didn't care about you guys, we would have just released this morning. Because it's not that reflection wasn't happening, but reflection, when we came in this morning, I'm testing the values, were off by a magnitude of about 1,000. So you would be getting about 1/1000th of your reflection or your holder's reward.
Everything else would have been perfect.
Everything was freaking great. You're just off by about 1,000. And the worry is if it's off, you can't just say, all right, fuck it, multiply it by 1,000. Yeah. That's right. You got to figure out why. You got to do it right, because if you don't figure out, if you just do some Band-Aid on something, then down the road you're like, oh, now it's got coin creep where balances are off, and you got to address it at the source. The math's got to be right. You can't just Band-Aid it.
Yeah, which none of that would have been a problem other than that we mint coin. We're not just, all the coins never always exist. We are minting them as they go along, so the math it totally changes everything when you do that.
We go in forums, we go to other places, because there's other people that have this challenge. In fact, every other place is asking,
trying.
How do you mint properly? How do you burn properly without? And no one, not one has solved it.
Nobody's been able to figure it out.
And I thought we had it, and we
and it's not that we don't know how to do it. There's so many other factors that factor in to that, because the token is so large and there's so much other stuff going on.
And the way we're doing it.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're doing it with this R total, T total calculation, it's forked off of, props out to Reflect Finance.
Yeah. Our base code is from Reflect Finance. We've modified it quite a bit. We've left some of the useful functions.
The base Reflect code or holder's reward code.
Yeah. Customize their tax. We have our own tax system in there. We have pretty much. We're just using the reflection part of it because it was genius.
It was incredibly genius.
I mean, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Don't ever reinvent.
But they don't do minting.
Yeah, they never thought that. Oh, no one's gonna ever want to mint.
They don't like. So if your totals ever change, which minting literally changes all the totals, and you have to calculate. So the things you have to calculate as a ratio and a factor of minting are, you have to adjust your fees. You have to adjust your transfer amounts accordingly. You have to adjust your total supply and your reflected total supply. You have to so R total, T total, R supply, T supply, the amount of reflection passed around, or whether it's passed around on a per wallet basis, depending on whether the wallet is excluding or including. It is on a it's insane what you have to do. If you don't want if we just did right now, if Omar's like, screw this, let's just do fixed supply, let's just have a pile of coins sitting. We aren't gonna.
Would have been out last week.
Yeah. But
not to mention that we're also tracking all that. Lola's taking care of all that, and then it's also connected to the new functions on the GAN side, on the merchant side of the contract. So I mean, we have to track all of that. So that's something that Adrian is working on, making sure that we're tracking every transaction that goes through, and those numbers need to all match up.
This really paves the road for everything. The reason why minting is so important to us on a level is when people see that giant pool. So there's an invisible giant pool. If it says 100 million and only this many are in supply, then you know those are going to grow out of somewhere. but that is different than just having 98 million tokens just sitting there dormant in a wallet, just slowly being put into circulation. That is something that I think has been hindering us. And so it just looks ugly. It sets off red flags with, like, none of the other things are like, look out, the owner wallet has this. Our owner wallet is going to have no tokens in it. It's honestly, on a technical level, it's freaking stupid. Anyone that runs a coin can unless you put every single token instantly in the liquidity pool, guttering your price to like 0.000001, or you launch with enough like initial liquidity, like millions upon millions of liquidity to drive your price up higher, you're always going to have this like super low price token, which is there's nothing wrong with it, but then you better have this huge freaking supply of those tokens. No wonder they go into the quadrillions and trillions.
It's kind of dumb. You're buying quadrillions of one thing that you're probably could use millions and millions of them to buy a candy bar.
We don't want to be like everybody else, so we figured, okay, let's combine reflection with minting, and that has been the most.
Who should have done it?
We're close. So this morning we've been working on. We did the fix for the first part of it. We've been working on the fix for the second part of it. We kind of had to really go back to the basics and look at some of our logic flow and kind of like just complete refresh. Okay, let's look at it with fresh eyes, because you can get lost in a code, especially when your code base is as big as ours. It is insane big. So we're working with, right now we're testing some of the new functionality up against a truncated code base, just a very short, like instead of having 100 functions, it has like 7 or something.
Just to
and it's
faster.
very basic. And once we get these locked, then we take those sections and migrate them back into.
It's pretty quick. Yeah, it'll happen once we verify it. We're happy with it. It'll be fast to move over to the new contract.
So that's where we're at. I didn't want to. I know I typed a bit on Telegram, but I couldn't. It's hard to give this detailed of feedback on typing. And I did general swaths. Yesterday was an emotional roller coaster. Today, not so much, because it's like we're not. Yesterday was like we were literally like, all right, let's. What do you mean? There's an issue? Wait, what?
Yeah, Rob was.
I'm like.
Ready to. You were
I'm like,
paperwork.
Go.
To do this.
Let's go.
There's champagne ready to go, and we're like,
what are we doing? We've got the proxy up. We're halfway there, and then we're stuck in limbo.
It was actually Adrian that helped me realize that there's we need to.
Props to Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian's a beast. He's got Lola tamed. Adrian says, "Lola, sit." She sits.
I think that's a little disrespectful, honestly. So, that's where we're at right now. We've got to chase down what's going on with reflection at its source. We are right now. I mean, just before we came here, I was like, I got to do a stream. It's around 1:00. We just push out. Everything looks good right now. We got to double check and re-verify. If everything's working, we gotta integrate it, and then I've got to retest the entire thing to make sure we didn't mess anything up. Every time there's a change on one thing, because of the way, not all coins are like this. You can change one thing over there on this coin and this is fine. The way that our stuff integrates, especially reflection, permeates through every little thing. You have to have special functions for transferring with, like, it affects, holder's reward is very pervasive throughout the contract. You have to have special functions for everything if you do any type of reflection. We don't do dividend where you pay out in a different token. That actually ends up driving down the price of your coin. But we do true reflection, so it doesn't artificially drive down the price. But yeah, so there's where we're at, guys. We're gonna keep plugging away. I could have good news when I do have good news. I don't have bad news. The good news is this. Thanks to Adrian, we found this before we went live, because it would have been a ticking time bomb, and we would have had to pause, try to solve it in the middle where all trading is paused for extended duration to chase this down,
which is not good.
which is not good.
No.
And we would have had to do a fix. It could have set us back a week, could have set us back a day. I can tell you this, since we're in the mode of this, this is an easier thing for us to address because that's how our brains are thinking right now. Once we transition to ecosystem, I'm not saying we're going to forget Solidity and how to do the coin code, obviously.
The ecosystem is going to move very, very fast because the key component to the ecosystem is the contract. Everything it ties everything together. We're tying it to the blockchain and contract. They all marry each other, but you cannot continue on the ecosystem unless you have the contract.
It has to be solid. So finding this with these values on that mock airdrop and is what you could classify as a blessing in disguise, because it was not. Imagine this, that you're using your coin and there's an invisible line between the real coins and the phantom coins, and you don't know where that line is, and when you cross, all of a sudden the behavior changes, then you go underneath like a ship floating on the water. Depending on where you are, is the behavior starts changing and getting weird, but you don't know where that line is. And that's really what was going on. We're like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And so now that we've isolated it, it was just a really good thing for us, for you guys, for everybody to find this now. Because while it wouldn't have been at the end of the world, it would have been disruptive down the road when the time.
Yeah, because I don't want to stop to do anything on the coin on the.
No, we want to go full steam on the ecosystem. Anyway, that's what we're working on right now. You guys have been updated. I don't have. Listen, I'm gonna be frank. I know that we like doing a lot of the fun stuff with the giveaways. We thought that champagne and a giveaway would be fun stuff. We have the champagne on ice; it's ready to go, and
I'm gonna do a fat giveaway. I'm gonna do like.
Yeah, I think that's
a motorcycle or something, like a little one.
Just a little guy.
Video game console or something.
We'll do when we launch this thing. We'll do a giveaway, and maybe we'll give away like I don't know, significant, like let's say 20.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's do that. We'll do something. I like that. That sounds good.
Or something like a prize.
Save it for the victory. Yeah. So as soon as we launch the second part. We've got a lot of work right now ahead of us, because anytime you go this invasive into a fix, you do have to retest literally everything again. So Fred plus 20. We'll have to. Fred, what hours are you sleeping?
Yeah, we'll just find out when he's asleep. He might just be asleep and then just start typing.
They're giving congrats to Fred already. You should just copy and paste the code and add something. I like that. That
nice.
I was typing in Telegram. I was like, you guys don't understand. Copy 99.99% of all the tokens out there.
You can put any code in front of me, and I'll tell you where the origin.
It's all tied back to some original source. In fact, we go through token code. I haven't in a couple days. We go through new tokens on. I'll go to CoinMarketCap. I'll say, okay, here's 7 new tokens that are listed. Let's look at their code bases. And I'm running through them like honeypot.
Oh yeah, we can identify honeypot.
Oh my god, like so much. I'm like, yep, scam. And there sometimes I'm looking at the comments and I'm like, oh, they're like to the moon, you know. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are going somewhere. But the most of those coins, in fact, well above 99%, are all copy and paste. It's not that they're forking some section of clever code here and there. They literally have
each other and each other's mistakes.
Yeah, all their mistakes are getting copy and pasted. They're literally Going to the bad spot. They don't pull anything. So most of the time we can look. They all look exactly the same. With maybe their taxes are just like, oh well, 5% tax is too low. 10,
Yeah,
you know.
change the taxes and the
And then the
symbol
name.
and yeah.
That's it. Taxes and symbol name in their token code.
Yeah.
And we see it over and over again. And their websites declare that they're all these things, and I'm like, they just put out a clever website that looks catchy. They have the ones that are fucking Inu. I want to just jump off a cliff.
The Inu coins are copies of each other.
But they're all copies.
The Inu coins have some decent features, but there's so much in there that can go wrong with some of the Inu coins.
So anyway, the curse, the punishment we get for writing original code is that the fact that we don't fork the entire thing off somebody else is that we actually have to use our brains. Yeah. And sometimes our brains are really working good.
The ecosystem won't work without some of our functions, so it doesn't do any good.
Yeah, you have to have, it's very integrated to, on blockchain, it would just be kind of stupid. Mm-hmm. But once we put, as much as it has smart contracts, it would be stupid contracts without our other systems enhancing and stabilizing the price, doing everything. So anyway, guys, we're going to get back to it. You guys have been updated. I appreciate your patience with us, especially with the, all right, I'm right there with you. And we're trying not to be demoralized in a setback, and we're not. Yesterday, end of day, before we got that big thing fixed, I'm going to tell you, devastated, because we're on the cusp. It was like kind of getting ready to go to Disneyland, and then they close it when you get to the gate.
Yeah.
Disneyland's closed today. What do you mean it's closed today? I want to go to Disneyland. So that's how it kind of felt, and so it was an emotional roller coaster. It was an exhausting day in every way, shape, or form. Today, though, I think we're feeling pretty darn good.
Let's go do it.
Let's go do it. So we're gonna get back to it. Thank you all. When we launch expect Angelina to keep you guys in the loop. We're gonna be doing, and I'm gonna try to focus less on communicating. I'm trying to communicate, but juggling all that stuff in the midst of trying to get it done is charged. So is really hard. So I'm gonna lean on them to communicate. And when it's go time, you guys will be the first to know by usually Telegram. If you're not in Telegram, get in Telegram, download it on your phone, download it on your computer, have it open. There's a lot of info that between us, and if another member knows, they'll share it with you. Questions are answered. The community is freaking amazing, and they can direct you to don't trust everybody in crypto. And not even the videos you find in YouTube. Some of them are just awful. And so when you're looking for information, I would be our community actually, I believe, does a much better job than most people directing towards truthful information versus bullshit. So start with our community, start there. They're part of our community for a reason. You guys are more knowledgeable than most people out there. So and hopefully we're furthering that cause. But we're gonna get to it. You guys will know when we know. And thank you.